we are beginning the top of 11 with some breaking news that's coming in. This one is from Lucknow, where Akhilesh Yadav's march to the assembly today has been stalled as Akhilesh Yadav has upped the ante with his war against the Yogi government. Now, fresh visuals are emerging from outside the SP office. In fact, heavy police deployment has been put in place outside the Samajwadi Party office ahead of Akhilesh Yadav's march to the assembly. My colleague Pranshu is joining us on the broadcast. Pranshu, just take us through what are the scenes like. We believe there is heavy police deployment. We can see the visuals on the screen. Has Akhilesh Yadav come out of his office to actually be a part of this march?
Yes, the march is being led by Akhilesh Yadav, and at the moment for past 20 minutes, the entire Samajwadi Party contingent along with Akhilesh Yadav has chosen to sit on a dharna at the Vikramaditya Marg crossing where there is heavy barricading, and the entire police force is here and beyond the barricade. And I'll ask my camera person, the video journalist Bimbadhar, he's showing you these live pictures where you can see Akhilesh Yadav along with all his team of leaders, all MLAs, MLCs, more than 100 plus numbers are sitting on the dharna, and they are insisting that this barricading should be lifted and they should be allowed to walk down to the Vidhan Sabha, which is again some 500 meters from here. Police's argument is that, we can allow the legislators to go. Of course, that is their democratic right. It's day one of the House. And an MLA can choose the way he wants to go. So if he wants to go on a cycle, he can go on a cycle, a bullock cart, or on foot. But the problem here is that along with the legislators, there are hundreds of common Samajwadi Party workers who are also marching, and therefore the police says that section 144 is in place. We will not allow anyone. See the heavy contingent and the heavy barricading right now. So there is no intention on the part of the government to allow them to go. But I think, the Samajwadi Party is probably also waiting for 11 a.m. because today being the first day of the House, we all know that the assembly session would be adjourned because there was death of the sitting BJP MLA. And so after the assembly is adjourned, there is no point of the MLAs going to Vidhan Sabha. So is the Samajwadi Party now just waiting for the assembly to be officially adjourned at some time at around 11:15 a.m. because we are not seeing that sort of a struggle, that sort of a zeal to break down this barricade and move forward. It seems that Samajwadi Party, Akhilesh Yadav and others are in a mood not to confront at the moment. They have chosen to sit down, and it is unlikely of the Samajwadi Party's style of agitation. They actually try to barge in when stopped by the cops, but we are not seeing any confrontation for past 20 minutes. So it seems that the strategy is that probably after 11:15 a.m. when the assembly gets adjourned because of the death of a sitting MLA, probably, we will see Samajwadi Party lifting the agitation from this very spot.
Pranshu, we've had a word with the Chief Minister of the state, Mr. Yogi Adityanath. Now, he's saying that if they want to actually pursue and go on with their democratic right, they are more than welcome to do so, but they need due permission. And also police permission is required. When it comes to those permissions and all of those requirements, are they in place when it comes to this Padyatra by the Samajwadi Party? What are they saying in response to the Chief Minister's comment?
Yes. Well, the UP Chief Minister, of course, came in with a strong response, saying that Akhilesh is standing. Well, in the pictures, if you can see, we are showing those live pictures. Akhilesh Yadav has now got up from the dharna. So what is going to be his next move, we need to see. But coming back to what Yogi Adityanath said, his point was very clear that assembly is the forum of discussing, debating, raising up the issues of the people, playing the role of opposition. That should have been done by the Samajwadi Party. Now, as far as coming to Vidhan Sabha, and as I told you, it is the right of an individual legislator to choose the mode he wants to come to. I mean, he wants to come on foot, he is most welcome to do so. The objection of the police is that we can allow the legislators to go on foot, but will not allow this huge build-up to march towards Vidhan Sabha, which is of course a secured area, and in and around Vidhan Sabha, section 144 is already in place. So that is what the argument of the cops is. Cops are still saying that we are not stopping legislators to go. You come out on your own, one by one, you move towards Vidhan Sabha. We have no objection to it, but we are not going to allow this agitation to move towards Vidhan Sabha. So that is what the argument from the cops is. And the Samajwadi Party, of course, has to say that, that Yogi government is trying to curb the democratic voice of the legislators from the opposition parties by using the police force.
Also, Pranshu, just a few days ago, we saw a sliver of what we are seeing today on the 19th of September when it comes to this big march that has been carried forward by Akhilesh Yadav and the Samajwadi Party. There were people who were voluntarily courting arrest, being detained by the police at that time, that too very close to the assembly. We are seeing similar scenes. However, this is a much wider scope of this Padyatra that was much announced. However, there was no response from the state government at that time when this announcement by the Samajwadi Party was made, because there was a route also that has been decided, I believe.
Well, yes, the last time you mentioned, I think it was on 14th or 15th, when we have reported from outside Samajwadi Party office, there was again a similar call that MLAs wanted to move towards the assembly. No one was allowed to come out of the Samajwadi Party office. Samajwadi Party then revisited its strategy, and they knew that, on any given day when the Vidhan Sabha is not in session, you will not have the moral justification of moving out on the road because the assembly is not in session. So police is not compelled by duty to allow legislators to go to the Vidhan Sabha. That's the reason why they announced that on day 1, that is 19th of September, when the assembly session is commenced, then the MLAs, Samajwadi Party MLAs will take down their Padyatra, and the police, of course, was caught in a catch-22 situation, because democratically you can't stop an MLA from going to Vidhan Sabha, and you also can't allow this huge build-up of people to march towards Vidhan Sabha. And that's the reason why we saw that police came up with this strategy that allow all the Samajwadi Party leaders to come to a certain point and then stop them from proceeding further on.
Pranshu, what is the announcement that's been made by the Samajwadi Party before they had announced this particular Padyatra? The demands that they are putting forth while they are marching silently towards the assembly, what are those?
Well, the Samajwadi Party's entire protest, and that's a very interesting point you brought up. BJP often accuses Samajwadi Party of playing minority appeasement. And many in the political quarters were feeling that whether when the Samajwadi Party comes out, whether it is going to take up the issues of so-called atrocities on the minorities, the issue of ongoing Madrasa survey, and you see the entire hoardings and flexes. Not a single mention of any issue which directly concerns to the minority discourse. No mention about the Madrasa issues. So only issues they are talking about is the price rise, the attack on democratic institution, failed governance, law and order, unemployment, price rise, and no mention about the so-called issues which can again paint the Samajwadi Party as a party trying to indulge in minority appeasement. So even in the choice of issues, there is a clear-cut political messaging from the Samajwadi Party, and I think there is the municipal elections round the corner sometime in December. Municipal elections would be held across the major cities and districts of Uttar Pradesh. Samajwadi Party wants to prove its point there. Then again we have the challenge of 2024, and of late we have seen that how there has been a flurry of activities in which there is an enhanced speculation about a larger opposition unity. We have seen that how Nitish Kumar has been in touch with likes of Akhilesh Yadav.
देखिए, जिस तरह उत्तर प्रदेश में लगातार पिछले 5 साल का कार्यकाल और जब से ये दोबारा सरकार को मौका मिला है, उत्तर प्रदेश की सड़कें जर्जर हैं, गड्ढे बन गए हैं सड़कों पर। जहां किसान इस मौसम में जल भराव, बाढ़ से परेशान होता था, इस बार उत्तर प्रदेश में देखने को मिल रहा है